This is Clever Charlie here. This is the National 5 Maths Exam 2017. And this is paper 1, non-calculator. And we're going to look at question 3 right now, okay? We'll turn to this question in our booklet. So it's a 2-mark question. And it asks us to evaluate 1 5/6 divided by 3/4 and give that in its simplest form. Before we do so, we want to change all of this into top-heavy fractions we want. Top-heavy fractions are where it's on the fraction. A mixed number is what we have here. 1 5/6 is a mixed number as it has a fraction and a whole number at the side, okay? There's a way to change this into a top-heavy fraction. And we want to change everything into top-heavy fractions before we do so, or simple fractions, okay? So to change a mixed number into top-heavy fraction, what we do is we multiply the number at the side of it by the denominator of the fraction part. So that is 1 times 6. That gives you 6. And you add on the numerator at the top, which is 5. So 6 plus 5 is 11. That is a top-heavy fraction. Would be 11 over 6. We will leave the second one as it is, as that is okay there, and there's no mixed number in there. That's 3/4. Okay, so we have 11 over 6 divided by 3/4. Imagine this, and a bit of practice on how to do mixed numbers to top-heavy fractions. If this is 1 1/6, we would multiply these two, the number at the side by the number at that bottom, and you add on the numerator of the fraction part. So that would be 7 over 6. Okay. So we have a division here, but as we know we cannot divide by a fraction. It's practically impossible. So what we do is we multiply. But we need to change this into a form in which we can use to multiply. So 11 over 6 divided by 3/4. What we do is we get second fraction. And here's 3/4. We find the reciprocal of this. This is flipping it upside down. 3/4 becomes 4/3. Because as you can see here, we swap 4 from the bottom to the top and 3 from the top to the bottom. So that all becomes 4/3. And we leave the first one as it is. And we know it's a multiplication now, okay? Now what we do is, well, it would be worth noting that here, you could do these steps in either order. For your first step, you could technically still write down 1 5/6 times 4/3. You could either change into multiplication first by finding the reciprocal first, or you could change them both into top-heavy fractions first. I prefer to do it this way, although both ways would technically be correct. So our next step in which we do to actually find out what the fraction is, there's 2 ways you can do this. The first way I'm going to show you, and my preferred way of doing this, is that you cancel out from here, here, and here, and here, and here. Okay, we're going to start cancelling out the numerator of the first fraction and the denominator of the second fraction. That's what you do. And then secondly, you would try and cancel out anything from the numerator of the second fraction and the denominator of the first fraction. Okay, so we try and find things which they both go into 11 and 3. Excluding 1, we do not include 1 here. Okay, 11 and 3. They do not go into anything apart from 1, which is pretty pointless. Making 1 is no use whatsoever. So we'll ignore that. So we've got 4 and 6 there. we now look for something which 4 and 6 can both go into, and we divide them both by that number. Okay, so 6 and 4 will both go into 2, because that's the highest common factor of 6 and 4. So what we would do is we divide them both by this number, which is 2. So we'll cross out the 6 and we'll divide that by 2, which is 3. And we'll cross out the 4, which we divided by 2 would then become 2. So we want numbers in which they both go into. 1, again, not being included. These are factors. You divide it by the highest factor that both of them go into. Okay, so we change that 4 to a 2 and that 6 to a 3. We've ignored these. So now what we do is we write down what we're now trying to work out. It is 11 over 3 multiplied by 2 over 3. That's what we're now trying to work out. Okay. Again, what we would do here is, since we have them all, we've done it, we've cancelled out as best we can so far. We would then write down this as a larger fraction, as you would see here. 11 multiplied by 2 divided by 3 multiplied by 3. And doing this would give you 22 divided by 9. Worth noting here in this particular instance that there's 2 ways we could do this. I've showed you my preferred way, but also you could do this step by making it 11 times 4, the 4 there, and it could be 6 there instead, but you would end up with a much more complicated expression to work with in the end, and it would be much harder. You would end up with 11 times 4 being 44 and 6 times 3 being 18. You could be correct still, but it makes it much easier if you do it this way. Okay, so let's look at the question again. It asks us to evaluate 1 5/6 divided by 3/4 and give it in its simplest form. That also includes changing your answer back to a mixed number. That's what you should do here. It would be wise to do. This is a top-heavy fraction. We started with one of them being a mixed number, so we've changed it to a top-heavy fraction. Now we change it back. The way we do this is the reverse of the method of changing mixed numbers into top-heavy fractions. It's the opposite. We need to find out the highest number on the 9 times table that's less than 22. Okay, so that's 9 times 1 is 9, and 9 times 2 is 18, but 9 times 3 is 27. So we do not include the 3 here. So we go back 1 till we get 2. So 9 times 2 gives you 18, so it can go into 18 twice. So we write that there. We write 2 there. But that is equal to 18 ninths. But we've been asked to, we need to find out what 22 ninths are. Okay, so we need to think how many more ninths we need to put in the fraction section. We've got 22 ninths we need to make up, but we only have 18 ninths here. Here's the 18 ninths. 22 minus 18 would be 4. So the correct thing to write here would be 2 4/9. That would be the answer to that. I'm going to look over this one more time and show you exactly everything I have done. We've changed that here to a top-heavy fraction. And we've done a multiplication here. Well, you can do them in either order. Next we've cancelled out and changed to here. And then we've shown exactly what we're doing. And then we've changed it into a top-heavy fraction. And we've changed it back into a mixed number. That's what we're doing here. There's a lot of instances in this question which you can do them in either order. The steps you could do You could leave that as a mixed number, as I've said, and put that times 4/3. But I've done it this way, and you can also cancel out at the end. But I prefer to cancel out at the start, as it makes the last two steps much more simple.